Not the kind of moment you expect to change your life, but for Ethan Wells, a scholarship student scraping his way through medical school, it was just another Tuesday morning disaster. He'd been running late for his shift at the student clinic, his one paying job on campus, when his backpack strap snapped. His notes, old textbooks, and half-empty thermos went flying across the hallway floor, colliding with someone's polished white shoes. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," Ethan stammered, scrambling to collect his papers. A soft laugh answered him. "It's okay, really." He looked up. The girl crouched beside him wore light blue scrubs, her long brown hair tied neatly behind her head, a gentle smile curving her lips. Her name tag read Clara. She was a nurse. Or at least that's what he thought. Over the next few weeks, Ethan started noticing her everywhere. At the clinic, in the hospital cafeteria, in the hallways between shifts. Clara was kind, patient, and always seemed to have time for everyone. She helped older patients fill out forms, brought coffee for interns, and even stayed late when Ethan needed a hand closing up the clinic. He'd never met anyone so genuine. He didn't know much about her life outside the hospital. She never talked about herself, always steering the conversation back to others. But there was something about her that made him feel steadier, seen. And one afternoon after a long shift, Ethan blurted it out. "Hey, Clara, our med school's having this charity dance next Friday. I know it's not exactly a black tie event, but would you want to go with me?" She blinked, surprised, and then smiled in that warm, quiet way of hers. "You're asking me out, Ethan?" He flushed. "I mean, yeah, if you want to call it that." She tilted her head, teasing. "Then yes, I'd love to." Ethan spent the next week in a mix of excitement and panic. He didn't have much, a borrowed suit, scuffed shoes, and a wallet that groaned at the thought of buying flowers. But none of that mattered. Clara was going with him. When the night came, she arrived like something out of a dream. Her hair was loose, her dress a deep emerald green that shimmered under the lights. For a moment, Ethan forgot how to breathe. "Wow," he managed, voice rough. "You look incredible." "Thank you," she said softly. "You clean up pretty well yourself." They danced, laughed, and for a few hours Ethan forgot about everything else. His overdue bills, his part-time jobs, the pressure of med school. It felt simple, easy, until it wasn't. They were stepping outside for some air when a black car pulled up to the curb. A tall man in a tuxedo climbed out, followed by a woman in diamonds. Both looked out of place among the students. "Clara," the man called. "We've been looking everywhere for you." Ethan froze. Clara's face went pale. "Dad," she said quietly. The word hit him like a slap. Her father's eyes flicked over Ethan, his old suit, his worn shoes, the cheap boutonniere on his lapel. Then he looked back at his daughter, voice cold but controlled. "You didn't tell us you'd be spending your evening here," he said. "We were expecting you at the Hilton fundraiser. Your mother's been worried." "I told you," Clara said calmly. "I had plans." "With him?" Her mother's tone dripped disbelief. Clara stepped closer to Ethan, her chin lifting slightly. "Yes, with him." Ethan felt like the ground was shifting under his feet. CEO, Hilton fundraiser. That kind of world didn't mix with his. Her father's jaw tightened. "Clara, we'll talk about this later. Let's go." She hesitated, then looked back at Ethan. "I'll see you later, okay?" And just like that, she was gone. He didn't see her for a week. He tried telling himself it didn't matter, that she was out of his league anyway. But every time he passed the clinic and didn't see her there, something twisted in his chest. Then one evening, as he was closing up, she appeared in the doorway. "Clara," he said. Startled. "Hey." She smiled, a little uncertain. "I owe you an explanation." "You don't owe me anything," he said quickly, though his heart thudded hard. "Yes, I do," she said. "I should have told you. I'm not just a nurse," she exhaled. "My father owns the hospital. He's the CEO of the health network. But I didn't want that to define how people saw me. So I started working here under my middle name, just as Clara." Ethan stared at her. "You mean your dad's the one who runs half the hospitals in the city?" "Yeah," she said wryly. "And yes, he disapproved of us. He thinks you're beneath me, but he doesn't know you." He shook his head slowly. "I'm just a broke med student, Clara." She took a step closer. You're not just anything. You work hard, you care about people, you actually listen. That's rare. And that's why I said yes to you." Her voice trembled slightly. "But if you don't want to see me again, I'll understand." Ethan looked at her for a long moment. Then he reached for her hand. "Clara," he said softly, "I didn't ask you out because I thought you were a nurse. I asked you because you're you." Her eyes filled, but she smiled through it. "That's all I needed to hear." The months that followed weren't easy. Her parents tried to buy him off, offering recommendations or scholarships if he stayed away. Ethan refused every one of them. Clara stood her ground too, volunteering full-time at the clinic, proving that her heart was more than her father's fortune. By the time Ethan graduated, their story had already spread through the hospital. The CEO's daughter and the scholarship student, and when Ethan finally received his first doctor's coat, Clara pinned his name tag on herself, with pride. "Dr. Wells," she said softly, smiling. "How about another dance?" He grinned. "Always." And as they swayed under the soft glow of hospital lights where it had all begun, Ethan realized the truth. He hadn't just found love. He'd found someone who saw him not for what he had, but for who he was, and that more than any type